Anybody know who Baker is that's running for this district? I've never seen him, met him, or anything. Well, I think if you get a chance, put him in for the, not for the commissioner, but put him in that position to get rid of the guy that's in there now. We had a wonderful gal that I'm going to introduce next who done more work as the Republican Central Committee head than anybody since I've been here, which is 8-9 years, ever. She done more in a year than any of them done in 8-9 years, and they booed her because she wouldn't endorse Marla Lawson and wouldn't accept that. Well, I wouldn't either, because we got better candidates. You pick the best candidate, and the way it works is the Republican Central Committee goes by the majority has to agree, but he was running around trying to force people to endorse her. Now, I asked myself why.
Not majority, it has to be unanimous.
Unanimous. Not majority, but unanimous. And that's what's going on, and if we don't fix it, it's going to get worse. Now with that being said, I'll be hanging around for questions after, but I want to get into it, so the next person is not a candidate, she'd like to speak a few minutes. If it's okay with the candidates, I'll introduce Jene.
She's a candidate.
She was, and as far as I'm concerned, still our Republican Central Committee head.
Well, I'm running still in Morris Creek, Precinct 70, so, but that would be something you could vote on.
The guy she's running against is named Jones. Remember that name. He's a Democrat. He's running as a Republican against her. Yeah. And that's another thing that's happening in this county, because there's another commissioner for District 2. When they redistrict, and they pulled the new district in from Idaho City, Addison, not a conservative Republican.
So my official name is Betty Jene Mollenkopf, and I'm married to Mr. Steve Moore back there, my sweetheart. Anyway, I have been active in Republican politics since 1976, when we had our bicentennial, and my eyes were opened, even then, to what was going on in our country and in our state of Idaho. In the early 80s, I started giving rallies for some of the candidates in the state of Idaho. You probably, if you've been here a long time, remember George Hansen. He was a congressman that they went after with a vengeance. He was very conservative, and unfortunately, he had to die before he was vindicated. Steve Sims in the day, etc. So I've been in the battle. I thought I had seen everything, truly, in Republican politics until my husband and I moved to Boise County and always heard what a conservative county this was. And so I thought, well, I'll get involved. In the presidential election, the precinct people were back on the ballot, okay? And in Morris Creek, Precinct 70, Pat Mento was on the ballot, and he was elected. He went to one Republican Central Committee meeting and he quit. He said, I can't do this. Well, how many of you are from the Garden Valley area that are sitting here? Okay. This is like a precinct person going rogue for me to talk with you on this topic tonight, but it has to be done, okay? You have a precinct committeeman, Eric McGilp, who for over 10 years has continued to be re-elected to represent you. And he is destroying the Republican Party in the entire town of Boise. Boise County's Republican Party is crippled because of him. I replaced Pat Mento shortly after he stepped down. And then Marla Lawson, who lives over in Lowman, she was named Central Committee Chair. The woman didn't hold one meeting. Not one meeting. Not one. So after 4.5 months, they came to me and said, Jene, would you also like to be our chair? And they voted me in. I have given my guts to this county, this state, and our country. I went to over 200 Republican events throughout the state, representing you. I reported back to Central Committee. On and on it went, giving my life, my time, my money. So here we go. We're getting close to this, to the primary. It was just a few weeks ago that Eric suddenly sent me a message. I've got all of his messages to me, regardless of how bombastic and crude and rude they are. I've kept a file now, because truly at first I didn't think that would be necessary. I've never met anyone quite like him. He sent me a message and he said, Central Committee needs to fund Marla Lawson. We need to get with it. This was before other candidates for Commissioner District 2 had announced themselves. And I sent him a message back and said, I don't even know who's running. You're telling me Marla, and you want Central Committee to fund, not only endorse her, but fund her campaign. And so before he put it out there to others, I was the first brave soul to say to Eric McGilp, Eric, I simply I can't endorse her. I don't even know who's running. And with that, he said, Marla and I put you in office, and we will take you out. And I have all those messages. So I said to him, very sweetly, of course, Eric McGilp, I am beholden to no one in this world but Jesus Christ. So with that, he went on a ranting frenzy, even went to the Capitol, where Marla does sit on the as a chair with Tom Luna and some of the rhinos. So that in itself was always a concern to me. But I am Cornell Razor, who's the head parliamentarian for the Republican GOP, told me to stand my ground. Dorothy Moon told me to stand my ground. This was absolutely ridiculous, all of it. However, Eric called a special meeting, and I was voted out as Central Committee Chair because, you see, there are just a lot, as Dr. Laura would say, a lot of men in Boise County that are sitting in precinct spots and have been there forever and have been following the marching orders of Eric McGilp, spineless, gutless men who will succumb to anything he said. So that is what happened. Now I am running again for precinct person, not as chair yet, but I encourage those of you here to end the nightmare in the Garden Valley area and oust Eric McGilp. William Baker is running. We finally have someone running against Eric, and we need to get him in. That is the only way the corner is going to be turned here in Boise County on the Central Committee. Or conservatives like Warren and his wife Mary, who are the spine of the Central Committee along with me, we don't have enough votes to counter what Eric is doing. And so, as Dorothy Moon, she and her husband call me the little red hen in Boise County because I'm everywhere and just trying to do what I can do, like the barnyard story of the little red hen. But then when you did everything and you reap the harvest and we're ready to put on our Lincoln Day dinner, they tell me they're stripping me. And then we said, well, who's going to put on the dinner, the Lincoln Day dinner? Because these patriots are right there behind me. And so then he said nothing, but he didn't hold his meeting. He allowed us to work ourselves to death, put our mind and energy and money into doing the Lincoln Day dinner. That was Saturday night. I got back home at 1-something in the morning over in Clear Creek. And Monday morning was an email said, special meeting, we're ousting you. So that is Eric. So I'm here, this is rather unconventional and sad, but I don't know what else to do. I've heard from so many people the same statement. Eric McGilp is the festering malignant tumor on this Republican Party in Boise County, and he continues to fester and cause problems. So with that, hallelujah. Thank y'all for listening to me. Thank you.